Welcome to the Barter Edge Podcast, your insider guide to smarter business, bigger networks, and better ways to trade. We're here to share real stories, expert tips from different industries, and fresh ideas to help you grow your business using the power of Bartercard. Well, welcome to another episode of the Barter Edge, and Bartercard really does give businesses an edge over their competition. And today I am here with Paul Hebbink from Bartercard. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your journey with Bartercard?
Sure thing, Jen. My journey with Bartercard is quite incredible. I've been around Bartercard now for 30 years. So yes, I did start with Bartercard when I was 4. No, just kidding. So I started originally with Bartercard Tasmania, and I started as a commission-only sales rep back in 1994. I was actually in my mid-20s back then, and yeah, I've had an incredible journey over the years. I went from Hobart, I moved to Launceston, I then went back to Hobart. I then had the opportunity to move to Bartercard New Zealand, and I've spent now the last 24 years living in New Zealand. I did a small stint in Bartercard London during that time as well. And then the opportunity came up to move back to Bartercard Australia. So, yeah, now I've relocated the family back here.
And how much better is it on the Gold Coast? Let's be honest, Paul.
Well, the climate's certainly beautiful.
So I get amazed when I look around our office. We've got over 150 years of Bartercard experience just in our office in Southport, in West Burleigh. What do you love about Bartercard? What has kept you with the company for over 30 years now?
Well, of course, the people, and look, every day is different. But the thing I really enjoy the most is seeing business owners grow their businesses and then achieve their goals using Bartercard trade dollars.
Yeah, it's quite phenomenal. The stories that I hear quite often got goosebumps from hearing the amazing things that our clients have been able to do. Would you like to share one of your favourite Bartercard stories with everyone today?
Yeah, look, I think one of the first things to understand about Bartercard is around Bartercard's value proposition is new customers, but more specifically, new customers when you want them. So what we do is we put bums on seats and heads on pillows when businesses need customers, during their downtime. And the thing is, this spare capacity aspect, it's different for different businesses and different industries. So, for instance, if we take a retailer or a product-based business, sure, they can open up and they can take Bartercard 24/7 or whenever they're open, or they can get a little more specific. And they could run a green dot sale and just draw Bartercard members in for a specific sales event and sell only a product that has the green dot on it. Or if it was a tradie type business, well, what does their spare capacity look like? Well, sometimes that can be geographical selling area based, that they want to operate in a particular area because driving is inefficient and costs them money. Or it might be a type of job or size of job that they want to try and attract. For instance, one of my old clients in New Zealand, they were a painting company, quite a decent sized painting company. But they said to me, well, the type of work we want to paint roofs. We're well set up for it and they're highly profitable jobs for us. So can you get us some more jobs painting roofs? So we did that, but then that led on to another conversation about what happens when they get rained off jobs, and they might be painting the exterior of a house, but it's raining, so they want some inside jobs. So we hooked them up with a motel who was renovating the motel, preparing it for sale, and at any point the painter could ring the motel and say, hey, look, we've been rained off a job. Have you got any rooms we can paint out today? And try and fill their spare capacity with work.
That sounds like a tradie's dream. Instead of getting called off a job, by being able to utilise the time, they've obviously already paying the staff, but being able to then transfer that into an opportunity, like that's business changing, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. So trying to pinpoint what spare capacity looks like in a business, it's to do with the rhythm of their business. I mean, take a hospitality type business. Sure, they can take Bartercard whenever they're open. That is absolutely an option. Or they could use it more strategically to attract Bartercard customers. It could be early sittings. It could be certain days of the week, because if they're pretty busy Friday, Saturday nights, then we can help fill up Tuesday nights if that's what they want.
And what a great alternative, because sometimes, like with restaurants, they're trying to fill that spare capacity by doing really heavy discounts. So with Bartercard, they're not discounting their product, are they?
It's a really good point because imagine you arrive at a restaurant at 5:30 and you get a 50% discount for being early. but you turn up at 6:30 and you're paying the standard menu price. To me, that's cheapening the business.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with that.
Is the meal half the size? Probably not. But yeah, I don't think discounting is a great way for a business to attract customers.
Totally agree with that. I had a great experience last year with Bartercard. So I had my Bartercard account there, and it was just before Christmas, which is an incredibly expensive time for families. And there was no way I could have justified buying myself something from my cash. Like, I just didn't have the cash flow for mum. I had to spend it on the kid and the husband and travel and all that sort of thing. And one of our retailers had a few racks and they had a special Bartercard morning. And instead of putting their items on 50% discount, they did 100% trade dollars, which meant that because they were getting rid of their excess stock that they didn't want to discount, they were able to open that up to Bartercard members. And it was an amazing morning. There were so many members in there all trying things on. And I was like, what a smart way of doing business. And it was something that I hadn't really considered before. So whether you're a product-based business, tradie, it doesn't matter what sector you're from, there can be some real advantages from being in our network, can't there?
Yeah, look, definitely. And just one last point on that discounting, because I see it as use Bartercard prior to doing a discounting sale. Try and sell all the product you can at your recommended retail price or your normal selling price, whatever that is, and use discounting as a last resort rather than a first option.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that little tip with us all today. Paul, can you please share some of the smart strategies to spend trade dollars within our rapidly growing network?
Step one, right, is who in the business is empowered to spend money, right? Identify who are those key people in the business. And obviously, businesses come in different shapes and sizes, but if it's a relatively, if it's a medium-sized business and there's a few different people responsible, even if that be, an admin in the office who is ordering tea, coffee, toilet rolls and things like this, empower the right staff with a Bartercard so they can spend trade dollars instead of cash. And then educate them that we're always looking to spend trade dollars instead of cash, because every trade dollar spent is then cash saved in the business. After that, the right people need a card. Then it's down to having the Bartercard app installed on your phone. Install the app, log in, use the forgot password feature if you haven't been in it for a while. Get the app installed and then go shopping. Go looking for the types of things that you'd like to purchase with trade. And then, one of my favourite questions that I'll ask a business owner is, tell me about some of the improvements you'd like to make to your business over the next 6 or 12 months. Most business owners will have some form of a to-do list, and some of it will also keep them up at night, but they'll have a to-do list. Everything on the to-do list, one way or another, costs money. And if a business owner was to share their to-do list with us and what they want to achieve, often this will link to some of their goals, then we can work with them on knocking a few things off their to-do list, paying for things with Bartercard trade dollars, and helping them save cash to move some of these goals forward.
I love that. I hadn't actually thought about that, but it's so true. Whether you're planning on opening another shop front or, anything you're wanting to do to improve your business, you've got to think about the effects on your cash flow. Why not utilize your trade dollars in times like that to be able to reduce some of that cash flow challenge that may be happening? So we do have the new platform. How does it make trading easier for our members?
In lots of ways. So the new platform, members are empowered to run their own account. And with that, they can edit and adjust their directory listing. They can change their directory listing status. So, they can be active and open and everyone can find them. Or if they need to, they can unlist themselves or snooze their listing. So, for instance, if things are pretty flat out and they might be a seasonal business, but if things are flat out for the next couple of months, then they may wish to unlist themselves. The other thing with the new platform, it has as far as the directory is concerned, it's got a feature in there called Barter Days and Barter Months. And this is a feature that some clients will use. Not everyone needs to, it depends on their business. But for instance, you can select the days, and this could be for, say, a hospitality business. They can select the days when they wish to attract Bartercard members. Because after all, Bartercard's value proposition is new customers when you want them. So it makes sense that a business owner can be specific about when they welcome Bartercard customers. For instance, with a car rental company or it could be a resort, there's the feature called Barter Months, and that's where they can articulate the months where they welcome trade dollars, the months where they may be flat out and unavailable, or it says there's another one that says contact us. That's a bit of a traffic light system with green, orange and red.
Fantastic. So, and all these features are very easy to use as well, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not particularly difficult to get your head around. You can download the Bartercard app, and that's the Bartercard Australia app, and you can run it from your phone, or you can also log into it as a web app.
Yeah, I find it easier to do my listings and things like that from the web, but then being able to scroll through the marketplace to have a look at what's available and what people are promoting is a great, easy way of being able to do it. And speaking of that, in business, visibility is super powerful. We are an additional sales channel for businesses, but we're business to business. So if you're business to business, it makes sense to really promote yourself and be visible on a platform like this. How valuable is the marketplace for our members?
In My BC, there's a number of elements to it. So one is the directory, which we've covered a little bit of. And that's a directory like the old style Yellow Pages phone book, and it's full of different businesses and their geographies and everything else. And that is constantly changing. There's new members being added. There's some members may be snoozing their listings, and others who have snoozed their listings are coming back in. So it's constantly changing, and it's quite dynamic. So it's not as if you can just look at it today and go, well, I'm done, I've looked at the directory, because it changes all the time. Then there is the marketplace side. Now, marketplace is a platform where people can sell specific products or services, and that could be absolutely anything. It could be a car, it could be a boat, it could be some soft toys. We have hundreds and hundreds of different listings on there, and there's filters you can use to search and find the sorts of things that may interest you. Then there is the tourist side. We have a tab called Tourism, and that's specifically to ring fence some of the tourist opportunities. And both Marketplace and the tourism listings are what we call buy now. You can click on them and buy them then and there. And when you click buy now, assuming you have the trade dollars in your account, the trade dollars are transacted between the merchant and the customer. And then you make arrangements with that merchant to receive the products or services that you've purchased. So with tourism, there's all sorts of different tourism type products. Then we have another tab, which is called Bartercard Opportunities. Now, this is an area where members can list higher value assets on a part cash, part trade basis. And this, you may find property, cars, boats, toys, jet skis. One thing that I have not seen sold on Bartercard to date, and I'm hoping I do one day, is a helicopter. We have sold planes. We've sold many boats, many properties, land, commercial buildings, you name it. We've sold a lot of that, but I haven't seen a helicopter sold yet.
So if someone's got a helicopter just sitting in their backyard not being used, can they put it on Bartercard?
Yeah, that's what Bartercard Opportunities is for.
That's amazing. So you don't actually have to be a caravan dealer or a car dealer to be able to sell these items. Is that true?
That's correct, because you can just sell whatever you personally own. You could also sell that. Whether it's part of your business or something you've got lying around in the shed, then yep, you could list it on Marketplace for a buy now opportunity. And the opportunities area for something may require some negotiation and inspection and things like this, and maybe a contract.
So for businesses to be more visible, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for them to update their listing and put like a listing in the marketplace? If they're actively looking for new customers, how important is that?
10 out of 10, it's super important. And look, the first point I would make around this is around a business's reputation. The business's reputation is critical, both in the cash market and the Bartercard economy. And my simple saying would be, don't waste the time of fellow Bartercard members with inaccurate Bartercard directory listings, because it just simply pisses people off. Now, if you're welcoming trade dollars, then be listed in the directory. If your business isn't taking trade at the moment or needs to pause or snooze or whatever, then unlist yourself temporarily. No problem at all. Because the accuracy of the directory is very important. The other thing is, when a Bartercard member updates their listing, it's got a last reviewed date on the listing that all the members can see. I was speaking with the owner of Berger Houseboats. They've got the houseboat business down on the Tweed. And she was telling me at Christmas time that this is one of the best features that we've brought in, because when she sees those listings that have been reviewed, and reviewed in the last 3 or 6 months type thing, it gives her confidence that the listing is up to date and accurate, as opposed to the listings that say unreviewed. So it's definitely worth reviewing listings. And then the other side of that is the directory is a tool for members to look in order to spend their trade dollars. But the other side of it, imagine a car detailing business. The owner of the car detailing business is looking at the cars they've got booked in for the next week or two, and they're thinking, we've got a few light days coming up. So what they can do is jump in the directory, look up their location, and then hover over the businesses that are in their geographical area and pick up the phone, ring those businesses up, introduce themselves as the Bartercard car detailer, and then say, would you like to book your car in to come and get your car detailed with us? Here are some available dates. And be proactive about using the directory as a sales tool as well to approach members who may want to spend trade dollars with you.
Excellent. So just to recap, some of the key points are be visible.
Yeah.
Get into the app, update your directory listing. If applicable, have an offer in the marketplace as well. And like we often talk about the things that make businesses more attractive and the things that every business needs. Like there's listings in there to be able to do things like your business cards and help with your SEO and that sort of thing. And there's such important things that we're all spending money on. Why not use your trade dollars that you've earned and then you're able to purchase at the discount equivalent to your gross profit margin? Like it makes sense to be utilizing the platform. And what I find with a lot of our members is we go out of our way to support each other, whether it be pizzas or a restaurant that is involved in Bartercard. I personally go out of my way. Do you?
Absolutely. Members will go out of their way to spend their trade dollars for the simple reason that they're saving cash. And then this whole, where do I spend my trade dollars conversation? It's for a business to spend their trade dollars, first they need to be proactive. And then they also need to change a few suppliers. Now, the classic one for me, I'll say to a business owner, oh, well, how much do you spend a year on accounting? And they'll say, oh, 15 grand. I'll say, okay, well, how about we have a look at saving that cash and spending with a Bartercard member, like a Bartercard accountant, and you can pay them trade dollars instead. And the response I often get is, oh no, I wouldn't change my accountant. And sometimes I find people are more willing to change their dentist than they are their vet, which is a bit weird to me. But I think challenge yourself and look at how much you're spending in different areas of the business, and why not explore Bartercard opportunities on spending those trade dollars. For instance, we have a telecommunications supplier on Bartercard who will take all your telecommunication bills, they'll match what you're paying now, and they'll take 50% on Bartercard. Now, we have hundreds and hundreds of members who are using them. It's whether you're changing your telco supplier in the cash economy or in the Bartercard economy, there will be a little bit of paperwork involved. And it seems that the only barrier to doing this is there's a little bit of paperwork involved.
But if you're saving your cash flow, money coming out of your cash flow, it's worth it, isn't it?
We have businesses who have 30 plus mobile phones in their business. They've got landlines, they've got, I was about to say fax machines, but that's not true anymore. They've got landlines, they've got fibre, and they can save these expenses in their business by switching to a Bartercard supplier. Now, that to me is pretty powerful. It also ticks a beautiful box, which is called an RBE. Now, that is a regular business expense. You do the work today, change to a Bartercard supplier, and then every month going forward, you are saving that cash. To me, it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, what a fantastic opportunity to help reduce some of those cash expenses. And there's so many different ways of being able to do it. I love the thought of going through like a bookkeeper and an accountant in our network because they understand how it all works as well when it comes to tax time and that sort of thing. And they can help with your tax planning and include Bartercard into that planning, can't they?
100%. They have a better understanding of how Bartercard works and how it's recognised by the ATO and incorporate it in. And look, I mean, one of the things someone said to me once is if you haven't changed your accountant in the last 10 years, you may want to have another look to get a second opinion.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's smart business advice coming from Paul today. For those who may not have traded in a while, what's the first step that they should take to get back up and running with their Bartercard account?
Number one, go to the App Store and download the Bartercard Australia app. Use the forgot password function in order to reset your password and log in. And then start with, so that'll take you into the app, which is My BC. Review your directory listing. And that's under the listing management tab. Make contact with your Bartercard account manager. They will help you. We're here to help. We're not hard to find. So yeah, make contact and re-engage. And let's start earning some trade dollars, spending some trade dollars, saving some cash, and helping business owners achieve their goals.
I love that. Now, if someone was considering becoming a member and maybe they are concerned that, they're going to be earning trade dollars, but they're a bit hesitant on where am I going to spend it, what would you say to them?
Pop your toe in the water, earn a few trade dollars, spend a few. At all points, the Bartercard member is in control of their listing, how their business is listed. They can snooze their listing, they can rev it up and turn it on, or if they need to, they can dial it back a bit. And then, fill some of that spare capacity or sell some excess stock, earn a few trade dollars, and then work with us and we'll help you spend. When it comes to the spending of the trade dollars, plan ahead. Right? Look at what is coming up in your business over the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and start planning ahead. Talk with your account manager and tell them some of your goals. Like, for instance, if you want to open a new store or renovate a shop or renovate a property or buy an investment property or these sorts of things, they generally don't just happen immediately. They take a little bit of planning. Involve us right at the beginning in that planning so we can support you and help you to utilise trade dollars, whatever these bigger projects are.
I love that. Now, Paul, I think one of my favourite little stories that I've encountered, and I'm fairly new to the Bartercard network, but one thing was I rang up someone in hospitality and she was a waitress and I said, have you heard of Bartercard before? And she said to me, yes, my previous employers had it and it was great because I had a staff account and that went towards paying for a third of my wedding. So there's so many outside of the box things that you can do once you're involved in Bartercard, and I love hearing those stories. We've got a couple of minutes left. Have you got another quick story for us of something that you've been a part of in Bartercard?
Yeah, sure. So probably one of my favourite stories in Bartercard, and look, these all come from members who have done it. But the story is about a spa pool company in New Zealand who joined Bartercard to sell some of their excess stock. And what they sold was end of lines, trade-ins, and some excess stock that they had in their warehouse. They were a nationwide retailer of spa pools. Well, actually, they were a manufacturer and retailer of spa pools. They sold a bunch of these spas that they wanted to get rid of. And then they used those trade dollars in their business on advertising, marketing and promotional opportunities to bring in more cash-paying customers. Now, to me, that was a really good use of trade dollars. But further to that, once they got their teeth into it, the other thing they did was they built a community of members around their business to support their trading. And what I'm saying there is they referred loads and loads of businesses to us because they're a decent sized company and they would have reps coming into their business trying to sell them things, whether it was advertising, printing or signage or whatever it might be. There were reps coming into their business trying to sell them stuff. So they said to these reps, sure, we'll do business with you, but you need to join Bartercard. Over a few years, we would have, in conjunction with them, we would have signed up 100 new members into Bartercard to support their trading.
That's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for sharing that. What a great story to finish on. Paul, thank you for being here with us today. I'm sure we'll have you on another episode of the Barter Edge.
Thank you, Jen. This has been awesome. Cheers.
Thank you for being with us today and sharing your stories and expertise. If you want to find out how Bartercard can help your business, or if you want to be a guest on our future podcasts, contact our team at hello@bartercard.com. Make sure you tune in for our next episode of the Barter Edge.